Good morning, Tim. This is blog number 19 or 20 as part of Practicum. I've honestly lost count at this point because of the blogs that we were submitting over the holidays. But I'll touch on both of these of week 19 and 20 in the course outline. And it was teaching the whole child strategies employed, analyze practicum experiences during my fourth month and critical issues involved with it, reflection on my e-portfolio, reflect on PD involvement. Well, as we just got back to school, there hasn't been a PD day as of yet. But in terms of myself in this classroom, I'm still trying to find ways to close out the semester in a way that is meaningful to the students. So I'm watching some little YouTube videos, reading some of the automotive textbooks that we have here, just in an attempt to find little projects to help get them through the end of the year where they're still enthusiastic and engaged. So we're doing some auto body right now. I'll just show you. We just started this. We've got a car there that we're doing some auto body projects on. We're beating the hood in, and then we're beating it back out and putting some Bondo on it and sanding it down. And I think later starting next week, I'm actually going to physically cut patches out of the vehicle and then have students weld patches in and then try to Bondo those. So that should be interesting, I think. Teaching the whole child strategies. This is something that I've really struggled with, and in part, it's because of the chaos of this classroom, because of the situation that I put myself into by accepting this LTO. I've had to try to manage a lot of behavioral issues and learn curriculum, and then try to make my way through faking it until I make it as a transportation teacher. So I've had a lot of moving parts going on. So I really haven't been able to identify in a moment when someone did need different ways of approaching education towards them. And I haven't been sensitive to the fact that some students have different needs. And that's on me, and I've recognized that, something that I do have to work on moving into my second semester. But I have tried to be cognizant of the fact that there are students with needs in my classroom and that I have to do a better job on that. So recently, I've actually encountered one student who I really genuinely enjoy. Great kid. He's going to be a great trace person one day. I guarantee it. But he is such a bloody asshole in class. Doesn't want to do any of the assignment work. He wants to act out while sitting at a desk. And when he is at his desk, he is miserable. So I've had to pull him aside. I've actually spoke with his mom a few times, but I pulled him aside. I said, listen, I said, I know this isn't for you. Working at a desk is not for you. It never was for me. I said, we got to come up with an approach that works. So I've asked him, because he hates doing the assignments, he really hates filling out the worksheets. I just asked him to be more contributing during my lesson planning, during my assignments, my PowerPoints. And if he could stay engaged and provide some meaningful answers, we could just scrap the entire writing out these assignment forms that I give him to do. And I can grade him based on his activity and his involvement in that sense. And while he's working in the shop, I will spend a little bit more one-on-one time with him, talking with him about that week's lesson plan and what he took away from it and what he can demonstrate to me, I suppose. So I've really tried to work on that. I do have a lot of students with AEDs who use it as a crutch, and I feel it's a crutch, Tim, where they don't want to sit in the classroom and having this, let's say AED, IEP. We have an IEP. And whenever they get the opportunity to leave the classroom because they have an identified IEP and they get to go to a resource to do work, they bail out of class, go down to a resource. And it's frustrating because I know half the time they're just walking the halls. So I've tried to do work one-on-one with the resource department to make sure my students are actually getting down there when they're supposed to be, and if not, that they face some kind of discipline from the office. But it's hard to have sympathy, and this is where I'm struggling. It's hard to have sympathy for students when you're giving them a very basic lesson or task to do, and they try to find any out that they can. So it, among all the other things that I'm dealing with in this classroom, when I have students that are abusing the spirit of their IEP, that's where I really struggle with bending. So it's something I really have to reflect on and work on moving into second semester, because I do need to find a balance and I need to be a complete educator. And as it stands right now, I am missing the mark in several areas. Uh, ePortfolio. Listen, I haven't worked on my ePortfolio. I still think it's a very solid ePortfolio. I looked at the all the exemplars that you gave us when we left Windsor, and I think I incorporated bits and pieces out of every ePortfolio and put it into mine. And I think mine as a whole is greater than any of the other ePortfolios that you presented us with. Does that mean that I can't work on it? Absolutely not. I definitely can. I'm just struggling to find things that are different that I can incorporate into it. Now, with second semester about to start, I actually updated my resume, so I'm going to put an updated resume into my ePortfolio. But other than that, I don't have a lot. I already have a ton of artifacts, and I have such a backstory on there, and I have like a full encapsulation of who I am with all my trade events, my passion for the trades. So I really don't know that I can build on that much more. I think I'll put that resume in, and then I think I'm going to submit it for final grading. And I'm sure you will come back and tell me there could be more work to be included in it. I don't know. But I don't see how much more I can put into that. I was waiting on a letter of recommendation from a liberal MP friend of mine, Peter Fragascatos, and for whatever reason, like it still hasn't come through. I've had some discussions with his chief of staff over finalizing it, but I still have nothing from it. So I don't want to keep dragging that out and waiting for that. So I think my portfolio is pretty solid. I think I definitely there could be some tweaking in there for sure. I'm sure there's always room for some kind of improvement. Uh, Again, differentiating instruction. This is where I struggle. I struggle with that. It's something I'm definitely going to work on. On a side note, one thing that I did want to mention is when you warned us when we were in Windsor during our first semester, or first semester, you cautioned us about accepting an LTO. You cautioned us that you would have no sympathy if we jumped headfirst into that and then we struggled throughout the Windsor program. And as you were saying, this is no disrespect, but all I saw is bark, bark, bark. And I knew the seriousness of your tone, but I didn't recognize how challenging things could be. And what I'm looking back, it would have been nice to have some people from second semester or the first intake or whatever you call it come into the classroom and discuss their experiences with us. I know time probably didn't permit for some of those things. And I know we had the meet and greet, and that was an opportunity, but that was pretty chaotic. It would have been nice to have maybe one or two of them come in and share some of their experiences to paint a better picture of what they were facing. I don't know if anybody from the first cohort, first intake while we were in Windsor, accepted an LTO that was outside of their broad base. Kind of wish I would have spoken to somebody and heard their kind of experiences in that sense. Because I thought I was prepared to become a teacher. And you know what? I don't think I'm doing terribly by any means at all. I think I'm doing very well. But accepting an LTO while you're doing this condensed program or accelerated program, so maintaining the school, maintaining everything for Windsor while trying to be a successful educator. I was 3 weeks into my practicum and I accepted an LTO. I wasn't ready to become a teacher. I've made it through. I think, like I said, very well so far. I've got nothing but excellent reviews from everybody. But accepting an LTO is hard enough on its own, and then accepting an LTO in a broad-based setting is not even yours is insane. And I haven't had the support. I haven't been denied support, but I haven't had anyone to lean on for experience. It's not like there is another auto teacher in this school that I can bounce things off of. I'm kind of on an island right now and not complaining. But it would have been nice to hear experiences from other candidates and what they faced and what to expect. And maybe a worst case scenario. I think a worst case scenario would have made me think twice, possibly. I may have given more consideration to the fact that when I was offered this LTO for transportation, 3 lines of this, I was also offered 2 lines of communication and a line of religion in Strathroy. And looking back, I probably should have taken the communication and religion. But whatever, it's in the past. I thought this transition would be super smooth, super simple. I thought I was ready to deal with a lot of the behaviors. And while I have the personality to deal with some of those behaviors, I could have dealt with them a lot better. I'm moving from a trade world into a classroom. So my approach, while my experience as a trade person and being hard and being an authoritarian, I suppose, works, there's a lot of skills, soft skills in there that I was lacking as well. So maybe jumping into transportation wasn't the most ideal situation, but here I am. I'm getting through I'm getting through the rest of the semester. The school is super grateful. I know they really want me to take this second semester LTO, and I declined it. I officially declined it. I've actually been told by several teachers in school that I'm crazy for declining full lines LTO because of how hard it is to get a contract, and this would only build my resume or provide me more experience so that I could land a contract down the road in something. But at the end of the day, I got to stick to my guns. I am not what is most beneficial to this classroom. The students deserve more. I deserve more. Education deserves more as a whole. And as it stands right now, it sounds like they might not even be running transportation next semester because I don't know if they've found anybody. Maybe they will find someone else, another warm body to accept an LTO, take this on. But as it stands, I don't think there is anybody. So I don't know. I'm still on the fence. Come February, if I don't have something else lined up, I might entertain this again, but I'm about a 99% sure that I will not. I'm uncomfortable in this environment. Uh, I don't have the resources at my disposal that I want, and it's more than just the technical knowledge. So that's my blog entry this week. Again, I can't remember what week we were supposed to be on, uh, but yeah, I look forward to wrapping this semester up, and I should be completing my practice hours very shortly, and that's exciting. So I don't have to keep filling out these log sheets every day. But that's a wrap. I will see you in the next blog, Tim. Talk to you soon.